And welcome to another great episode of Tampa Fishing Outfitters. We're not going to say radio. We're going to say live fishing report from where are we at?
Tampa Fishing Outfitters,
the one, the only. And who do we got as our special guest?
Captain James Beers.
The man.
Yeah.
That's it, man. We're going to talk some. We got a lot of good stuff.
We're going to talk.
Tonight.
We're going to talk some cast nets.
Cast nets.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk about reels. We're going to talk about Black Friday.
Some sales going on.
We're going to talk about. Rick, what are you going to talk about?
I'm talking about whatever y'all want to.
Oh, you just are you just rolling?
Giveaway. I got a trivia question.
Trivias.
Giveaway. We got
tonight. We got
product reviews. We got all kinds of good stuff.
Most importantly, we're going to talk about fishing today.
We're talking about fishing.
And
that's right. That's our prize right there.
Yeah, 100% fluorocarbon leader O'Hero.
100%. Did they take that off your slogan?
100%, baby. 25 pound of or 25 yards to 25 pound.
That is the
to the lucky winner.
The 25 and 25 deal we got going on, and that's going to be our trivia question. We're going to give that to you a little later in the show. But right now, you guys are going to start talking, right?
Well, James is going to take it.
Yeah, I could take the lead.
Take it, brother.
So I'm here on behalf of Tampa Fishing Outfitters today, not my guide thing. So I just want to talk about what we got going on Black Friday. I know there's a lot of hype out there about different sales going around everywhere. Well, we got one of our own.
We got our own hype.
We're our own hype.
Our own hype.
And we're doing it fishing style, okay? So it's going to be based on a tide chart, all right? So follow us on Facebook, Instagram to get the full details. But right now, just a quick rundown. You know, first thing in the morning, you got to have the first light bite. So
absolutely.
Absolutely best, you know, all the best catch is going to come first thing in the morning. So we're going to start out with 30% off on all our Yeti products. So coolers, cups, accessories, anything you could think of,
that's
all 30% off.
Yeah, 30%, man.
Yeah, it's a good deal. Extra tough, so all the footwear, you know, keep your feet dry during the winter. You've got the extra tough boots. We've also got the shoes, the boat shoes, the deck shoes, so full line of products from them. All our Sims gear, which I got a shirt on now, all going to be 30% off. Lee Fisher, O'Hero, cast nets, you name it, anything we make, 30% off. All fly rods and fly reels. So that's from the top end. I mean, we got some run, you know, $1,200 that we're giving 30% off of. It's crazy, but yeah, all the rods and reels from the fly department gonna be 30% off.
Rick's gonna get a couple of those.
Yeah,
you all right, Rick?
I put you down for a couple.
Yeah, give me a dozen.
30% off expensive. Still expensive, right?
Yeah. And last but not least, everybody needs new reels. So all the Penn Clashes, Penn Spin Fishers, original Penn Conflicts, Daiwa BGs, Daiwa Saltus, and also the entire Okuma lineup that we have in stock. So all that 30% off for those first 3 hours of the day. That's how we're going to kick things off. First light bite.
That's pretty serious.
First light bite. I like that. That is catchy.
All right, so we're going to open a little bit early that day. Not too early, though. It's the day after Thanksgiving. So 8 a.m. And that sale, that particular portion of the sale is going to go all the way on until 11 a.m.
So 8 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
That's the early bite.
Yep, that's the early bite. A little later than maybe the top water bite is, but you can still get them at 11.
Still slinging some baits.
So what happens when the tide starts coming in?
So then the tide starts coming in. We got to change gears, all right? We can't give the store away all day long, so we're going to cut that off at 11, and then starting at 11 a.m., you're going to have 20% off store-wide. Doesn't matter what you buy, all right?
James, did you come up with this?
No, I had a hand in it. Is it a good idea?
This is the coolest sale I've ever seen. Like,
actually, this was a
now he's like, he wasn't sure how that was going to go.
It's a total shop effort, though. We all fish. We all live to fish, so we want everything we do to tie into fishing.
Catchy.
Yeah,
it's catchy, man. I like it.
So, but that's going to run. So as soon as the first light bite's done at 11, we transition. Whole store is going to be 20% off until 2 p.m. So if there's a product out there you've seen in the shop, you know you need to have it, and you're kind of waiting on that day to get it, I promise you there's not going to be a better day than that. You're going to get 20% off store-wide. I'm
going to add something to this Black Friday sale we have. You roll up in here, they got this little jug up front, and the candy's free.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Now, if you don't hurry up and get over here, I might keep robbing this thing every week and clean it out. Me and Rick are putting a dent in it.
You and Rick, man, we've gone through a lot.
Hey, man, you're keeping our energy levels up during the show. I mean, it's late for us.
It's a major crash on the way home, though.
I know, but last few weeks, energy's
sleeping.
It's been a good show. So then incoming tide, you know, it's going to go slack at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, so at 2 p.m., you got to wait on that tide change. Yeah. It's going to start going out. All right, we're still going to be open until 6 p.m. So for those last 4 hours of the day, whenever you come in the shop, you're going to stick your hand in a fish bowl, pull a little fish symbol out. On that, you're going to have a discount anywhere from 5 to 30% off your total purchase. So, I mean,
so you're gambling at that point.
You're kind of gambling.
Get here by 11, basically.
Yeah.
If I'm reading the tide chart right here, get here by 11. That's your first break. That's at 30%.
No later than 2.
You could potentially strike gold,
But
it's
it's
a gamble.
It's a
It's
gamble.
a gamble. Get out early.
Gamble.
Get out there. The early bird gets the worm.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck on that flat on the low
You
tide.
don't want to be
anyways.
stuck on no.
No.
You don't want to. That's
We've all done
that's
it.
actually
Yeah.
pretty neat. I like that.
I like
Yeah,
that.
pretty
So that's
cool.
the Black
That's,
Friday, guys. That's
Yeah,
the
we'll
day
have
after Thanksgiving.
We'll have the full details up on our Instagram and Facebook. I know we've leaked a little bit of the info, but there's going to be more. There's going to be another deal coming on the Humpback Cast Net as well. Which
Can we go into detail on that yet, or are we just leaving that
not
for next
totally
week?
in detail. I think it's going to be one of the trade-in offers. We're going to get 40% off. That's what it's looking like. But no matter what, you're going to get 30% off in those first 3 hours, regardless, whether you've got a net to trade in or not.
Well, there's a big cast net craze, especially on social media, and rightfully so. I think the humpbacks and leaf fisher nets have been around for years. They've spent a lot of time catching bait, a lot of time on the pilings.
Yeah, no doubt.
By us,
As most.
Well done that.
but they're a good net, good quality net, and they throw great. And we're going to put some stuff out there that's going to be good.
We're going to
It's gonna be
showcase
good.
some pretty cool stuff coming up. We don't want to shed too much light on it, but stick around for some good things to come.
Travis is going to
What
throw a
else?
cast net, and I'm going to scoop the bait up.
I like to see that.
That
Hey.
happens all the
I know
time.
you
huh?
can throw it. What we do have on the humpback, though, going forward, is there is going to be a warranty program. So,
Okay.
I mean, I think that, it's called for now. It's part of
Certainly
what's going
justified on some
Justified,
level. Just,
right? So, we want to make our customers happy. It's a quality net. We want them to come in and still purchase it, use it. It catches bait. All right. So, we're going to offer a similar warranty to what's out there with some other manufacturers where you're going to get replacement over the lifetime of the cast net, up to 5 times, 50%. So there's more details to be worked
That's
out, but we're
good.
going to do that with future purchases. So even if you come in and get a deal on Black
Yeah.
Friday, you've got that peace of mind as well. So
Right.
it's there. Call us for details. Come to the shop. Come talk cast nets.
Yeah.
Give us the address here locally.
It's 3916 West Osborne Avenue.
You look like you didn't know that because I
Tampa,
don't know.
Florida.
It's over there by the stadium, is what I tell people.
By the stadium.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So website. So we got some people that might. We're taking this thing worldwide now, so you never know who's listening.
Yeah, TampaFishingOutfitters.com.
There we go.
We've got that actually links tapped into all our social media accounts and what's going on. So any of this info will be there as well.
Rick, you like my worldwide,
I
don't
like
you?
it.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
gonna be
it.
fun.
Very nice.
Good stuff.
Very nice.
You like
and just
that?
so everybody knows, we had a little crash on one of our screens tonight, and we can't see the comments. So
We're kinda watching them on our phone here.
We're watching them on the phone, so it's just a little more difficult than being able to look up and see the comments. So just keep that in mind. If you ask a question, just give us a little time. So.
Cool.
Anyway, so hey, you want me to do the trivia question?
Already?
Yeah, let's hear it.
This tonight's trivia question for 25 yards of 25-pound test, 100% fluorocarbon, a $9.95 value. Have to come to the store to pick it up. But the question is, what color disappears first as you drop in the water column?
Well, I know.
So
It's a good
Can
one.
I-
that is
can
the
I-
trivia
This is a
question.
good one, and well,
And Bill Dance taught me this.
it's funny. There was actually a video, and I just saw it the other day, where somebody took like 6 or 7 different color marker lids, and they put them together on a piece of wire, and they swam down to the bottom. Now, this was like 150 something feet. They just kept going, but you can actually watch the colors start to disappear and turn into one color as you go.
Mhm.
But like the blues and the greens kind of all merge into one.
Don't give up too much.
And we'll leave it at that. But it's
It is a trivia
interesting.
question.
Oh,
It is interesting.
blabbermouth.
It is interesting, and I tell you why, because of the way that people fish baits and they talk about the colors and all that stuff.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
So there is some knowledge there to be unlocked in terms of how deep you're fishing and
Mhm.
how far that color spectrum actually goes below.
And it don't really
and what it
matter a
looks like.
whole lot for our shallow water
Right,
guys. I
yeah.
mean,
Right.
you're not going to lose any color in 2 foot of water.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. But as you fish deeper, and I know a lot of the grouper guys are religious on what colors they use and that kind of thing, especially with those. What are they? The divers, what are they?
Stretch 25s,
Stretch
and
25s.
30s.
You're starting to lose some color once you get down in that range and a little farther. So just good information to know.
Sure.
And we've got got several comments coming right back. What was the question again? real
Question is,
quick,
what
Rick?
color disappears first as you drop in the water column?
Okay.
So
We
if you took all the colors and put them on a golf ball and dropped them all in the water, which one of those would would lose its color first.
So Mr.
It don't disappear. You don't. It's not like it gets invisible.
So Mr.
Right.
John, I'm gonna
Invisible to fish.
I'm gonna murder this last name, but Uterwick, you are the winner, buddy. I hope you live in Tampa. If not, it's gonna be a long drive to get your fluorocarbon leader. But Mr. John, it looks like as far as my feed goes, you were the first one to answer, and it's red. Red is the first one. And so you come on in, see Mr. James or any other sales associates. We'll go ahead and have your name up front, and you can come in and get you a little spool leader here, man, to try it out.
You know, did O'Hara, are they the ones that started this here with the?
You know, I don't know. It's the one I've seen it on the longest, but I don't know.
I started doing this years ago, and I saw it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I got it on one. I had some of your.
He was mad he didn't patent it.
I wasn't mad about that because I don't really think that's a big money maker, but that's genius, man.
Yeah.
It's just one of
It
those
works.
It's just one of those little ideas that keeps things nice and tidy in the boat. And
Yeah, when it's done, you use them for all other sorts on the boat,
Yeah.
keeping rods together,
Yeah.
keeping anything
Dude,
tethered.
Velcro, duct tape, and
Velcro.
zip
You always
ties.
need it. Yeah.
So John's in Lakeland. So John, swing on out to
Cool.
TFO, man. If
It'll
you're
be
wise,
waiting on you. It'll be waiting on you for
come,
Black Friday.
come down Black
Hit it on
Friday,
Black
man,
Friday.
and check out all
Get
the
you a
other-
humpback cast net.
Yeah.
Get you some reels. Get your rods. I mean, they got everything here. You
Yeah.
guys got. You know what I've always said about Tampa Fishing Outfitters. The cool thing about here is when you come here to shop for product, they got a lot of every brand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it's not like sometimes I see stores they carry a lot of one brand because they
Yeah.
buy from whatever manufacturer a lot, and then they'll have a little bit of everything else based on the deals they get. You guys have a lot of everything.
Yeah.
Whether
And
it's
it's
sunglasses
going to show
or
in our product showcase here too,
Right.
as we're going to talk about a little bit later. But
And our staff has all their own favorites, but it's pretty diverse. We're all over the place, and
So
whether it's
are we.
our brands, our
Yeah.
fishing styles,
Yeah.
we've got a little bit of everything at the shop, so it's
I
all
don't-
represented.
there's we honestly the three of us from motors to boats to reels to
All different.
rods,
all
like
different.
we're all
Yeah.
different.
it's all a
Yeah.
little different, man.
Actually, I think it makes it fun because they wouldn't make fun of each other. If when something breaks, it's like game
Yeah.
on. Like
Yeah.
Hey,
Told you.
hey, don't let nothing
Your
break in
turn.
this crowd.
Well,
Your
there's a
turn.
f- you know,
If something
you know,
breaks, you're in trouble.
Should have
The
told
power pole you can't
Yeah.
get away with. The Rodan you can't get away with. Those.
well,
those
Rick's still sporting the
Oh,
knee knocker.
I'm still.
Hey, look, man.
but he's
You're-
You can't knock
I'm
my
not gonna-
trolling
I
motor.
ain't.
You can't
I
knock
mean,
my trolling
That
motor.
thing looks like a redfish. It's got so much rust
Yeah.
on, but
Dude,
it
they come
runs
to
like
it.
it purrs like a
runs like
kitten,
a
man.
champ.
Yeah.
It's like
It-
that
I've
old
got rust all
'70s
over
truck
it,
that
too.
you
Oh,
fire
you
up,
ain't
still
seen
got
that.
the
You
AC.
ain't got rust. I mean, you're on the
Dude.
right oyster bar. So
Dude, the
it's-
customers
yeah.
start cracking jokes on
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's like the
I'm
talk
with
of
you,
the
buddy.
boat.
Dude, I had a
I'm with you.
customer get on my boat and said, "I hope my tetanus shot is up to date."
Yeah.
just keep your shoes on, my
Yeah.
friend. Just keep your shoes on.
It's camo. Isn't
I
that
said-
the first color that disappears
Yeah,
in water?
I said, "What did you say?"
In Louisiana,
I'm
they
looking
be
at that-
sight casting
that
your trolling motor.
I hope my tetanus shot's up to date. And I
Wow.
said, "Man, that thing runs like a champ."
Was that the same day I come by and then
Yeah.
I had to give him some bait?
Yeah.
I was done, and then I started pounding his trolling motor,
Yeah.
and then it was like
Hey.
game on. Like he had 4 people just hounding his trolling motor. Like
She ugly, but she works. Hey,
That's
hey,
all
I'm
that
telling you,
matters,
I-
bro.
That's right. I'm not getting rid of it until she
Character.
breaks.
Let her
If she
rip,
breaks,
Tater
I'll
Chip.
give me a brand new one.
I don't
Yes,
blame you.
sir. Yes, sir. Well, James, we got a few more minutes here before we end up our first segment here. Why don't we do this? I know you're a local captain now, kind of doing your thing.
Yeah.
Give us a couple picks out of this stuff. Maybe something that some guys should maybe take a look at. Give us an idea of
Gotcha.
something that maybe you think is a good deal.
So for me, I mean, we're going in the wintertime, and if you're a bait guy, you depend on bait, or you're a weekend warrior who's going to go out and catch bait. I like to be comfortable when I do it, especially cold early in the morning. So extra tough with those boots. I think
Money.
Yeah, you've got them. You've got
Yeah.
them. I've got them.
You got supposed to be.
Red,
I got to order you some
Yeah.
special order, but
Bigfoot over
yeah,
here.
they're it, man.
Sorry, they don't have size 20.
Just cut the toes out
Yeah.
on yours,
Sorry.
Rick.
Sorry.
But my favorite product, 6-inch deck boot. It keeps your feet dry. You wear bibs over that. You're dry as a bone. You take
Yeah.
that gear off and you're good to go.
Well, I told you I got them boots, and actually I really do like them.
Yeah.
One of the things, Travis, whatever, he's a big believer in whatever he's got, so
Yeah.
try to sell you on it.
Hey,
You're
he-
right.
it's
I don't- hey,
it's
that's it.
tried
That's
and
how you
tested,
do it.
Yeah, I
man.
am
It's
too.
tried
You
and
just
tested. That's all I can
described
say.
you're trying to
I
help
know.
someone out.
If it makes it
Yeah.
through what I'm gonna
No,
put
but
through,
it honestly, like, I do like what and one thing you said is the boot is very easy to get on.
on and
I
off.
like that in the mornings. I can pop them on. I got that
Yeah.
wide double
Yeah.
little lip
Yeah.
thing,
Well,
and
something else about that is it's safer because if you fall over your boat,
You
and
gotta get
got-
those off.
and you
says
got
the
big
guy
boots
with
on,
farmer's boots on.
I just don't fall off. You will drown with
Just
rubber
don't
boots
fall
on.
Way to
off.
do it.
For
You
sure.
will drown. No, I got mine cut off, but
For
you
sure.
will drown with rubber boots on.
Yep.
And when I get my new ones, it won't be an issue. But yeah,
Mhm.
that will drown you
For sure.
because you can't get them off once you.
For
got
sure.
them.
And
Once they-
you know, speaking of boots, you know, there's something I always looked at too. They can get pricey. You start looking at some boots, and at $79.99 price
79,
point,
oh.
and then you get in here on Black Friday and you knock another 30% off
Yep.
of that.
yeah.
I mean, tag that in with some few items, man. You're walking out the door with a
Yeah.
really good deal for
You
sure.
won't be disappointed.
I mean, especially
them
around
boots
Christmas,
are-
get in
are
here,
nice,
get
though.
you a nice little stash of stuff, man.
they grip well when the deck's wet.
Yeah, wearing them with shorts, I ain't pulled off yet, but actually I kind of like them.
It's a good look. That's
Yeah.
not a bad look.
I fish them all day
Uh,
long.
I rock them.
All
I
day.
don't care.
Travis-
I don't care. I've been
Travis
rocking
loves
them for years.
All
Yeah, I feel like a crabber when I do that. No offense to crabbers.
You look like a crabber too. When you
in
do
the
that.
morning, I'm kind of grumpy.
You smell like a crabber too.
Well, don't be smelling on me. What's wrong with you, man?
Sitting 4 inches away from me.
man?
But anyway, so
in addition
so the
to that, you
extra
can pair it
toughs.
with some outerwear, man. Sims has a good product. We try to be, to carry the most extensive lineup from Sims, which we feel like in terms of fishing apparel, that's a company that lives off of selling apparel to fishermen.
100%.
Their dry gear or their rain gear, whatever you want to call it, is top notch. We carry the highest end to the lowest end, so every offering they can give you. But those would be two good gifts. And even if you're not a fisherman yourself, you're trying to shop for one, those are two things I know from experience that people don't always spend money on themselves for. So if you're looking for that gift for the
Well,
person who has it all,
And not only that is if you are looking for a gift and you don't fish and you come here to get your product, it's not like going to Walmart. Try to ask somebody at Walmart something about that's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
about fishing. Or,
Yeah.
good luck.
Good luck.
They were in the women's department 2 days ago, and then they were doing electronics the day before that. So the knowledge is here. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's definitely
These-
full surface. It's full service. You've got the guys that know what's going on. It's particularly to what you want to fish for, because it's totally different if you're an offshore guy, if you're an inshore guy, if you're a fly guy, if you're a freshwater guy. Depending on what your flavor is, you can come in here. They can put you in the right area of the store to what you're looking for
with the right person.
with the right person, and from the product to getting the line, getting it spooled professionally, having that done right, which we're going to talk about a little bit in our second segment because it has to do with reels. But that's a big part of running the braid and everything now is
For
getting
sure.
it packed on there with a good machine. So
For sure.
the folks at TFO can certainly take care of that for you. But James, we appreciate you coming
Yeah,
up
definitely,
and,
guys.
and hanging with us
Absolutely.
and bringing us that information. It's obviously something that you're more familiar with than we are. But
yeah,
get
we
down
would have
here.
messed all that.
We're going to be
That-
pumping
yeah.
that.
That'd have been all
Yeah.
Too
jacked
risky.
up.
I
Yeah.
couldn't.
And
you
no,
couldn't put
yeah,
this together.
definitely
You
out of our league on that. But
James was like, "Hey, we got a sale
As soon as we
coming up. You
saw
want
the
to?"
tide.
I say, "Hey, why don't you come on there and talk
First
about
light
this?"
bite with incoming tide and all that would have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
yeah.
The tides are already confusing enough, right?
So real quick, just to sum it up for the folks that just tuned in, 8 to 11 a.m. That's 30% off selected brands and models. Same day from 11 to 2, you got 20% off store wide.
Store wide.
And then after 2, from 2 to 6, it's kind of cool. You're going to get to reach in, and it's kind of on you. Luck of the draw.
Yeah.
You're going to get anywhere from 5 to 30% off, and that's
Definitely.
anything in the store.
Yep.
All right?
Which you just reminded me of something. The next day, Saturday, is Small Business Saturday, which we're definitely that. We got 3 shops here
Right.
locally. If you miss any of this, you can still come in on that Saturday and get 15% off store weight. Whole
There
day.
you go.
Wow.
So
Money.
even if Black Friday you're going to be at Macy's and Best Buy and camping out and you just can't make it, come back the next day. We'll take
Now,
care of it.
is
Cool.
this sale just at this locale?
No, this is going to be happening at the St. Pete Fishing Outfitters as
Okay.
well. Yep.
Cool.
So there you go.
So our St. Pete folks, you're taken care of as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
It's gonna be exciting. Too bad I gotta work.
Well,
Will
good
you
deal.
come by here.
We got about
Pick stuff
1.5
up for me?
minutes. I want to peg Captain James on one more thing.
Yeah.
Give us a 1-minute report on what's happening in Upper Tampa Bay.
Upper Tampa Bay. All right, I didn't grow up there, but I'm spending a lot of time there. Trips have been real good lately. The snook bite is on fire. I mean, rivers, creeks, anything up there that gets you off the flats, they're moving in that mud for sure.
Yep.
With the cooler weather. Water's crystal clear up there. Bait's prevalent still. You've got to stay on top of it, but it's there. It can be had. And the redfish bite, it's been good to me lately. They're not in their usual places, but if you search around long enough, you're going to find redfish. There's trout on the grass flats. I'm loving it up there. Loving life.
Cool.
Very good. What happened?
Cool. I don't know. I think we're still on. My computer just bugged out on me here, but
I don't know. The time's not moving no more.
yeah, I don't know. I can't do anything till
Well,
this
it's a
till
break.
this
Time to take
till
a
this
break.
refrains.
There's
But
a
We'll be right back.
don't know what's going on. Hang on 1 second.
That's where I put my hands in the air.
No, I was.
We're still going, right?
Yeah, we're still rolling.
We seem
Well,
to be
no,
rolling.
We're still rolling on the phone, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So y'all got the phone to look at.
There you go.
yeah. So
All right.
we're gonna go. We're not taking a break. Travis is doing what he does. God, I hate computers.
Yeah, me
They
too.
always do like
That's why we
just
fish.
bogus stuff. Yeah, but even
That's why we
then,
do what
it,
we do.
It interacts with GPS. There, you know what the magic thing is with computers, anything electronic. Well, can't figure it out. Let's go ahead and do a master reset.
Plug
Let's
it.
restart.
Yeah.
That's the
Unplug
answer
it,
for
plug it
You
everything.
back
guys
in.
always tease me about not being technical, but this is exactly why. This is exactly why I just
Frustrating.
What-
I just put my heels down. I don't like it.
Mm.
I don't like all this technology.
Let's go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about fishing. That was our second segment, and we'll get to the commercial.
Fishing's been good on the south end of the bay too.
I've been hearing that.
I'm
The-
gonna tell you, I haven't fished since Monday, but Monday's trip, I had 2 guys using live bait and 1 guy using artificial,
Mhm.
and a lot of times I'll get that, and I just cringe. I'm like, oh, gosh,
Yeah.
you know, because on some days that just an artificial keeps getting, you know, we're not fishing the flats and drifting. I'm banging mangroves and
Mhm.
just that bait getting just slung in there. I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
is not gonna be good. This guy used a little white. I don't even know what brand it was. Just curly tail jig, and he was catching snook with, and we I don't know, we probably caught 35, 40 snook Monday, and he ended up catching 2 redfish with it, and he was catching snook right there with him. I mean, they catch one, he'd catch one,
Yeah.
and
Well, we had a
we didn't
front
catch nothing
rolling.
big. There
that-
wasn't no big fish.
I think that was it Monday night. Is that right?
Yeah.
Monday night. I had a real good bite Monday. I fished like this whole week at the same guys.
Mm-hmm.
2 8-hour or 4 8-hour trips and 2 4 hours. I'm pretty tired.
Wow.
Tuesday was I picked them up about 10. I made I actually hit history on my unit
Mm-hmm.
to today. 75 miles I
Yeah.
ran. I had to run to the bridge to get bait. Had to go to the Vinoy. It was so rough. Like I got halfway to the bridge and I said,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done this. Like, I mean, it was tossing my 26-foot boat around like it was
Yep.
like a canoe, and I'm just like, this is dangerous. But
But you trudged through it.
I made it. I loaded up with bait, got back, and the bite was, it was horrid.
Yeah.
Like for the first hour, I got stuck in slack tide. I think the high pressure was sitting on us. Afternoon, we plucked about 15-ish snook, 20 snook. It was work. It
Yeah.
was one of them work days, but got some small rat reds, and it was good. We made the trip. This morning we fished, and it was pretty good. We fished it was cold.
Yeah.
Fished like, I picked them up at 7, already had bait, and
It was cold this morning, Bubba.
we've been
Yeah.
getting some nice snook, not huge. Got a 30-incher Monday. We got like a 29 today with quite a few smalls. Didn't get the numbers I thought I'd get, but they were definitely cold. But the water temp this morning was 72 degrees.
How do you know?
Because I unplugged. I have to unplug my transducer and then
Yeah,
the
I
back
thought about
one.
it this morning. I was gonna say I'm gonna call Jason and see what the water temperature is.
Yeah.
I said no, I'm not gonna do that because
Yeah.
he has no
the joke's
clue.
on me here. I got this high-tech Simrad that shows 131-degree water temperature. But I can actually get it to work. I have to unplug the one transducer,
Oh,
shut the unit off, turn it
Easy
back
enough.
on, and then
yeah,
it
no
reads.
problem.
Yeah, I mean,
we do that every day.
Every day.
It's kind of industry standard with a $3,000
Yeah.
unit, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, so water's still holding at 72, 70 is what I marked today.
Yep.
We honestly, I think for the river fishing to really take off for us, we need to drop in the 60s.
60s.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fish are on our side are kind of in limbo.
Yeah.
Bait is still a train wreck on the south shore. I went over to your side
Mhm.
and I was like, wow, this is nice.
great, isn't it?
I mean,
It was
usually
nice.
it's opposite because I call Gandy the land of 100 throws because every time I go there, I feel like I throw the net 100 times to
Yeah.
get bait, and we've always got pretty plentiful bait. And I don't know, man. Since
Well,
the
we've had
hurricane,
bait. It's just small. It's
Small.
just
I
Tiny,
found
tiny.
It Monday. I
You
found
know?
it Monday.
Rick uncovered one of them golden rocks over there and found a little pop of
Put it up
bait.
and they come out.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I've
It's-
finally just threw, and this was probably the last one to run to the bridge. I was fighting it, and I just finally said,
I'm
"The
sure
heck
it's been
with
tough
it."
this week, man.
Oh,
Bridge
man,
has
that
been
bridge is-
brutal.
yeah,
Yeah.
the bridge has been ugly, but the good thing is you go there and you just throw twice and fill
Yeah.
80
lot of
gallons of
times.
well
it's
up.
clean.
When
You
it's
ain't
nice,
doing
Yeah.
when it's
right.
nice, and little threadies get in there, and that throws a curveball in the game. But it has
But-
been nice. What I was going to
Travis-
say too is the other thing is Say it again. I'm not afraid to use pinfish and
No.
ladyfish, man.
You lost
We've-
your
For sure.
Hey.
Saturday, me and Travis was fishing here.
Oh,
I mean,
my
we
gosh.
were 30 foot apart. And
I told Rick we pulled up. They pulled up next to
Are
each
you
other.
gonna talk about pinfish again?
No, it wasn't a
No.
pinfish.
Thank
I
God.
pull up next to Rick and I said, "Hey man," I said, "let's fish this little shoreline here, you know." So we threw out some live baits. We had some on a cork, some free line, and I just slide out the back of the boat and I get a ladyfish out, put a cut ladyfish on, and fired up under the bushes, you know. And it's sitting there, in, what, 2-3 minutes,
yeah,
maybe.
Not long.
I seen that line jump, boom,
Yep.
boom, and I said, "Oh, I reached over and I grabbed that thing, dude, and it went to peel and drag. I got the fish out of
You
the
got him
trees.
out.
I got the fish out of the trees. I handed it to the customer.
And before he answers
And-
the question, he's working on his fish.
Dude,
and I'm
like-
over there yelling, "Hey, you're supposed
Making
to
sure
let
he's out.
And
You're
Rick-
supposed
yeah.
to let
out.
the clients catch it.
And
You're
Rick's,
supposed to let
Rick's
the,
giving me hell about it, and I'm like, dude, like
Yeah.
if I hand this off right now, it's 100% game
Oh,
over.
I knew what was
When you
going
know
on,
it's a
but I
So,
was like,
oh,
man, I'm gonna.
so
I'm
I'm
gonna
wrenching
rub
this
him.
fish out. I get the fish turned.
Got him out.
And I
got
go,
him
here,
out
man.
20
I
feet.
drag set everything. I hand the guy the rod, and he goes on that thing like it was whack-a-mole at the carnival, dude. Just wham!
Yeah.
I mean, just cranking on the
Laying the
thing.
wood to him,
Yeah.
son.
Yeah,
And
he
broke
was.
he broke the line and needless to say broke the
Tra-
the
broke
whole
Travis-
area.
hey.
It was nothing but mud where we were
It
fishing.
broke
Yeah.
Travis's heart.
Oh,
he
it was
looked
so
over
kicked
at
up
me.
all
He
the
was like,
Oh.
Yeah.
He's,
It was a good
Travis
one.
gets into his
Big
trips.
old-
It was a
He
good
gets
one.
so
Clip.
excited.
Hey, ask
Nothing wrong
Rick.
with that.
Ask
Nothing
Rick.
wrong.
It was a
good one.
stud.
It was good. I was
a
already
good
reeling my stuff out of the way. I got to get my stuff
Clear
out.
the lines.
Just
Get
clear
out of the
it.
way,
Give-
baby.
Let him have the dance floor.
He was going to the redfish.
He was
He
headed-
saw the redfish.
Headed straight to my
Rick
trolling
had his
motor.
trolling motor down, so he was heading over to partner up with the redfish, and then that come up.
There are a lot of sharp objects off that deal. That's worse than a barnacled up piling.
But
No,
but
that
yeah,
was smooth
so
down.
to throw it out there, where I was going with that is, man, like honestly, if you can't get live bait, it's not the end of the it's
Dude,
not the end of the
that's not-
day.
you're right.
Pinfish, ladyfish, believe it or not, mackerel. Spanish mackerel will work. It's a good oily, stinky bait that you can use. Redfish and
Anything
snook will
that
eat it.
stinks and
The other one is, and we haven't talked about it yet, and we normally start to talk about it, but shrimp will start to come into
Yep.
play
For sure.
as we get colder and colder and colder. And one of the ways that I like to fish shrimp, I'm not big into the little micro shrimp, the little brine shrimp, but I will find me some good jumbos and fish them either on a jig head or a circle hook. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll pop the head off. And I won't fish with the whole shrimp. I'll just
Right.
pop the head off, give me some scent. Plus what it does, it gives you a nice heavier bait to kind of sling and get up under the trees.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm fishing under
And
the
that's
trees.
good for redfish too, because it gets
For
that
redfish
scent
and
out there.
snook. So as we go forward into winter, you're going to see the bait situation, change. Shrimp, even the fiddler crabs are going to start to play a role at the bait shops,
Sure.
and I'll be looking for those too, because I do actually like to sheepshead fish, which we'll have all that coming up. We'll probably do another. Last year we did a really cool flounder sheepshead show, so maybe we'll kind of do one of those again.
We'll
which
go over
is
some
kinda neat,
details
just a little,
on that.
little different style of
We're on the
fishing.
verge.
It's right there, man. So as we move forward, things are going to change around a little bit, but I think we can all agree up here as fishermen that I think we're not quite into winter, but
Not yet.
we're as
Transition.
close as we'll ever
Yeah.
be to that pivotal point of going to cold water fishing.
Well,
We
we're
actually
getting
did a-
getting fronts that are rolling in, but they're not really cold, but they are bringing a lot of wind. I honestly, like today, we started early on our trip because I told these guys, I said, tide's gonna bottom out about noon when we are, and I said, we're gonna go fish docks and canals. I want that negative, like the lower the tide, the better. And we had it this morning.
Yep.
It was bumpy going. I had to run north about 6 miles. And we did pretty good on it. Not quite as good as I thought, but I used some bait out of our bait pens, and it wasn't. It
It's
wasn't
hit or miss,
like-
man.
It's
It's just not
It's
cold
just not
enough
cold
yet.
enough. Yeah. So, but we did good on the negative tides right now, which is kind of what we're doing our show around. We really hadn't got into that. Fishing negative tides right now. I used to hate fishing low water, but now I love it. It's like
Oh, it's awesome.
you kind of just you're fishing out of a barrel. It's just
Yeah.
you limit where they can go. You limit where you can go. There's a possibility you're going to run aground if you're not real sure where you're going.
There's some
But
days I hate low water fishing, depending on wind direction, because most of my spots don't put up with a northwest wind. I just-
Yeah.
And that's generally when you're going to
Right.
get that negative.
That's exactly. But most of my spots, I don't get the best results with.
you're
those
going to
I'll
have to
tell
get
you-
J-Tom's
I'll
air
tell
boat,
you,
ain't you?
I'll tell you a little story, and it happened to me last week. We fished an event out of Hula Bay, and I was up fishing an area in some residential canals. We had a pretty nasty day. It wasn't super bad, but it was nasty enough to want to tuck back. And so I started fishing some residential canals in an area that I'd fished several times before. But not on that low of water. I'd never been up fishing in there on that low of water, and it actually gave us an advantage because what I was able to do was kind of take away the areas that I knew fish weren't going to be in. When you look up under a dock, obviously, and the oyster bar is exposed all the way down the dock,
She ain't good spot.
that's not a good spot. But, but what it did was, as we kept moving and moving and moving, we ended up finding those pockets, those coves, those deeper docks that were holding the fish, and we ended up landing several nice snook. We ended up getting one. I think
You
it was
went
right
back to
around
back
31
on plus 30s. Didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, we had a good day on snook, and it was all because, honestly, not to say that we wouldn't have ran across some fish because the docks we fished I knew in the past that had fish on. I hadn't been there in a while, but what it enabled me to do was those areas where I knew there was fish, I had to fish less of that area to find the fish or to know if they were there or not. So some of those canals that we fished, I'd go to the back or on the sides, and that was the only place there was water. Throw a little bit of chum, fish a few solo baits, and if we didn't get anything, we moved on.
Right.
But when we did find the fish, there was a concentration of fish located in that area. So it helped us. That low water helped us in that particular day in an area that I hadn't been in a while. So,
Well, and right now, real quick, James, Manuel wants to know where the St. Pete shop is, St. Petersburg.
I don't have the address offhand. I'll get it for him now.
it's super
Yeah.
easy
Okay.
to look
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
but just
Super
look up
easy to-
St. Pete Fishing Outfitters.
Exactly.
Yeah, just Google it and you should be able to pop.
Yep.
Sorry, we probably should have that, but I didn't expect you to know, but I thought maybe he does know. I
I
definitely
was
don't
lucky to
know.
know this address.
Yeah, I know. You look like you're a little on like a
I tell you what, James, how long you been working with Tampa Fishing Outfitters now?
Just over a year, man. I
Just over a
started last
year, and from starting to where you're at now, man, you've really taken a big role, and I think the store has improved by having you here is definitely an asset
Cool.
to
Oh yeah, well,
not only the store but in the fishing industry.
having people that fish for a living or just fish for a hobby. I know Pam down there. She's
Our staff entirely.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
just a lot of knowledge here to help you, and you guys aren't. I mean, obviously you use a certain brand, other guys use, but you kind of know what's good and what's bad out there
Yeah.
It's
as
like
far as
mechanics.
brands. Yeah,
Mechanic sees cars coming in,
yeah.
Yeah.
and this one don't need fixing as much as this one, and
Right.
And
It
same
ain't
with
easy.
these
Well,
guys.
Yeah.
and
This one,
and
right.
They
an
know,
honest
man,
opinion
I
is
keep-
hard to come by these days, and I think that's kind of where we're getting at. Is you'll get what you need, and
For
not more than what
Yeah.
you need coming out of the store. So that's always good. But
Well, guys, we're gonna do too.
we're gonna do a product review. We're probably not
we're
gonna
gonna
take
do
a break
Yeah.
just because we're having a
Yeah.
little snafu on software, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it.
How long you
and-
been working with software?
Huh?
How long you worked with software?
Long enough to know that right now it's not working very well.
Nah.
But
And they always have.
But we still got
snafus.
our live feed
Yeah.
going, so that's all that matters. I don't want to kill it. It's actually kind of just hung up in limbo. But since it's still broadcasting, we're just gonna roll with it, guys. So we're gonna avoid commercials tonight. But generally in our second segment, we've been doing product review. So what we're gonna do tonight is, oddly enough, the three of us here
use different stuff.
use different product, and so what we're gonna do is kind of go over some of the one of the spinning reels that we choose to use on our charters, and
Coincidentally,
see that
coincidentally,
price, dude.
all three.
they're all
That's a
about
pretty
$100.
cool reel.
This one's $99.99, $99.95, and $99.95.
Yeah.
So
I had
reels.
to-
all
Is
$100
this
reels.
new? I've never even heard of
It
this.
came out last year. I
Yeah.
think they introduced it at ICAST last year.
man, they
It's
come
actually
out
been
slow.
around about a year, right?
Yeah.
When I started here
Yep.
is when
It's been out for about a year, and I was actually talking to the Shimano rep, the guy that I deal with, and one of the questions I asked him, I was a little hesitant on this reel. I picked it up at ICAST. I thought it was really cool. I was a little concerned with the graphite type body of it, composite body, because I've had several reels that have snapped at the composite.
I have too.
So we'll go to a metal frame or a solid aluminum or something like that. But the feedback that I've gotten on this reel so far is, I mean, amazing. Like,
what is the model?
it's actually this is a Noski. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I believe they say it Noski or Nasi. I've heard it said both ways. But the cool thing about it is it's got the Hagani gear, just like the Shimano Stratix and the higher-end Shimano reels. It's also got the Core Protect, which is going to protect the reel. It's got a little metal band on the top of the reel to keep it from corrosion. And I can't remember how many ball bearings this one has on the 3000, but I want to say it's 6 or 8.
Long as they work.
Yeah.
But the point is that for $99, all right, and we're all going to talk about $99, but in the name of Shimano, all right, you can get up to $300-400 for a quality reel
Sure.
on their premium product. And I think what they've done with this reel is brought something down to that $100 price point that is very equivalent to the higher end Stratix, and even this year they won the award at ICAST, which was the Sustain, the newly designed Sustain. So this is the product that I wanted to talk about. Like I said, it's the Naski. I know several guys that have been using this, and when I did talk to the Shimano guy, I asked him how many he sold. He said he sold a bunch. I said, how many have came back? He said not a bunch, which is the more important information about that. So I actually just ordered a bunch of these. We're going to be using them now on my charters and putting them through the grime. So I'll come back with another report on them. But good reel for the price point, $99 here at Tampa Fishing Outfitters. And
it's light.
It's pretty light.
I can't really tell the difference.
Good drag
it might
system.
Be a little lighter than the Pen. I can't really tell.
Well,
they're all going to be real close, relatively close. And with me, I'm invested in Shimano. It's a product I believe in. It's a product that's done good.
Oh, they make a good product.
So
no doubt about it.
That's what we go with. But comparable to the other guys here, which they're going to talk about, Shimano Naski, $99.
The big thing they did with this one is the Core Protect.
Yeah,
that's essential if you're going to fish a reel in saltwater in the Shimano lineup, because people always say, or the feedback I get over the counter is, there's another model that looks just like it. It's a Sahara. And I always steer people to this. If you're going to go to the saltwater, get the Core Protect. It's a full treatment of the reel. It's not just little things. It's every part of what they do in that reel. So
John right here asked about rigging ladyfish and mackerel for cup bait. I find that the flesh is so soft they don't stay on the hook. Travis,
here's a tip for that,
Mr. Cup bait.
If you're gonna catch ladyfish, and we talked this on the way over, if you're gonna catch ladyfish, immediately in the cooler, ice them down. If you've got, you probably don't, but if you have some salt, I carry some on my boat. You could take a handful of salt and throw in your cooler. That's gonna give it a brine. It's gonna actually bring that temperature down, and it's gonna firm that meat up. But you definitely want to ice your ladyfish as soon as you catch them. That's gonna firm that meat up so that you can use it. As far as the rig, I'd probably say anywhere from about 1.5 to a 2-inch chunk, a nice little sliver with a 5/0 circle hook. I'd go up on my circle hook when I'm going with cut bait. And one of the keys that I like to do is not deeply hook that bait. Just barely hook the bait on there to where even at times when you throw, you're gonna throw the bait off. Because what you want is when that fish eats, you want the bait to come free, hook to come out, and everything's game on.
Through
so
the skin,
I go through I go right through either the belly or the top of the skin, and just barely catch it, just a little bit, just enough to keep maybe a cast or two, or if you got to pull it away from a crab or something like that to get it back. But
guys,
same deal on that.
Before I go into, or if you want to do your real description,
go ahead.
I do want to mention our photo contest that we can't do anything as far as pushing stuff up on the screen. We're doing a cool fish photo contest.
Yep.
We can't put anything up here. What I want you to do is go to groups on Facebook, search Tampa Fishing Outfitters
Fishing Show Photo Contest.
Fishing Show Photo Contest. Like the group, submit your photo.
You got it out.
And what you have to do is you have to subscribe to our YouTube page, Tampa Fishing Outfitters. I think it's still radio. We need to maybe change that show, and like our Facebook page, which you're probably on if you're watching the video. We're gonna pick a winner, and we're gonna pick the winner the second week of December.
Yeah, we're gonna get some input from the store, like guys like James. They're gonna all check it out. We're gonna check it out, and through a panel of a couple people, we're gonna decide who.
We've had some good pictures.
Who gets a humpback net, man?
All you gotta do is submit your picture, subscribe to our YouTube page, like our Facebook page. The lucky person that we pick their photo is going to win a 10-foot humpback cast net.
Yeah, and we've had some good ones.
So we need a bunch of pictures, guys. Spread, share, free cast net. Cast net costs
$230 for a
$230 for a net that you can get for free for submitting a photo on our group.
Yeah.
Again, search for our group, Tampa Fishing Outfitters Fishing Show Photo Contest. That is
why you looking
too
at me?
long.
You set it up.
I'm waiting for you to correct me. I'm expecting to mess up. But don't forget to do that. Also, guys, our YouTube page, Tampa Fishing Outfitters Fishing Show. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You can watch us on your smart TVs now. All kinds of. There's so much electronics I can't keep up with it.
The YouTube gives you a little bit different interface, man. You can get it anywhere.
Whatever. Yeah,
so
whatever he said.
Let's hear about the Daiwa here.
He said something about interface.
The BG.
So I'm a Daiwa guy. Been using Daiwa since my guiding career started. I actually I was one of the guys that did the testing on this reel, and for the money you can't beat it. And I'm sure that reel's in the same category. I haven't used it.
Yeah,
I can tell you that I've got legit because I actually I do testing sometimes for Power Pole. Dia will send me some stuff they need test. So what I typically do is I'll do a trip count, how many trips I've ran, pros, cons, problems, things to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And
Y'all don't know how many fish you catch because we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Trips
That thing
we
was-
know.
That
you know,
was-
just
yeah.
because you ran out to
Trips
the
don't tell the
bridge,
full
dropped
story.
the clients back off.
Yeah.
Just
Is this
casting.
a roast? Is this a roast?
All
All
right, back to the reels.
Oh my
So,
God! I thought I had my
So-
10 minutes here.
Yeah.
Whatever, guys. I hook it to
Chop
the.
you at the knee.
if-
Hey, Rick.
Listen,
Rick.
this thing right here, I hooked it to a tree and pulled on it for 30 minutes and didn't break. So, but anyhow, I legit had like 200 trips on these before I seen
Yeah.
issues. And the most impressive thing that about this reel, and I'm not the guy that I don't abuse my reels, but I rinse them with fresh water, throw them in the corner, pick them up. I don't oil them. I don't
Right.
do anything to them.
Time out. Give us a product here that you guys recommend, because I've been wondering about this too. What products do you guys recommend for cleaning and rinsing your reels after use?
There's a bunch. The one that it seems to that we get the best feedback on has been Cleanse Oil.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody's probably
that's
familiar
what-
with that by now. They're real big especially in our local community. I think they're out of Lakeland. But the cool thing about them is they're fishermen themselves, so they use even the packaging, like the bottle, the mini one that has that little fine
little needle.
I got some
so
on my
you can
boat.
get it in anywhere. They
Yep.
make a spray for the boat. So that's probably our most popular. And then Q-Max has some really cool stuff. It's more applicable for like bigger gear like lubricating motors and parts in boats. But Cleanse Oil will do that too. But for
Right.
reels, definitely Cleanse Oil. We like it a lot. We use it behind the counter.
No,
Cool.
Cleanse Oil is actually I have a bottle on my boat. It's good stuff. But
Yep.
the biggest thing I noticed about this reel is the drag system after 200 trips, saltwater, abused by customers, was like the day that I took it out of the box. And I was real impressed. And it's aluminum body reel. I particularly like aluminum bodies for the same thing that you had. Graphite's scary. I think graphite is a great reel for a couple reasons. It's lighter. And it's lighter, but they say that's it. Really,
Yeah.
actually, I say a couple. There's one. It's lighter, but I have broken numerous reels that were graphite from
Conduct electricity.
from basically abuse of customers.
Well, and
though.
I think what ends up happening, because I had several real high quality reels. I'm not talking about some of the medium product. I'm talking about like some of the higher end product, like the
Sure.
old CI4s. I'll start naming it. I had them snap at the reel seat. That's a $300 reel, okay? And what I found was when you get the clients, they want to hold the reel like this
Yeah.
and not actually,
Right.
actually firmly
One or
grip
two fingers on
grip
each side.
the base of the reel. That's when they snap it off, when they're cranking on it and they're not holding the reel.
Yeah.
well, I
um,
think
the
I think it
Vulcan
goes
grip.
beyond that.
The
I think when they're just cranking on it, reeling against the
Like
drag.
fish.
Right.
So some of it I say is abuse. So I'm not saying don't buy a graphite reel.
But you got to catch
I'm
big
saying-
fish too.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
If you hook a mangrove branch
That's big.
and they
trying
think
to
it's a fish or a
get it
dock
out.
piling and they think it's a big fish,
Or
it's
you
still
hook
gonna-
your
that's even
your
worse than a
buddy's-
big fish.
Your other buddy's charter client on his
Yeah.
boat.
That was a tug of war.
I mean, how many times have your clients hooked a rock and they thought they had a fish for like a few minutes for you like broke the bad news?
It happened to
them?
me just the other day with your guys.
We did really enjoy it for a few minutes.
You know when they're reeling like
Oh,
really
you're gone,
fast,
you know?
like they're like high speed reeling, and
Yeah.
you're like stop, and they go what? Stop, and they're just sitting there,
Oh, that look.
and then it don't move.
Oh.
I'm like,
Oh, that look.
I
They
thought
go-
we were tripped up,
they-
son.
Yeah.
We had one trout on. The other two guys were on the oyster bar.
That's great.
double hookup
Yeah.
oyster bar. So now the
Anyway.
truth comes out. See, they thought it was me, but so the aluminum bodies work better for charters. For me, I have graphite reels. I kind of we deal with all types of clients. Not that all our clients do that, but I've had a lot of compliments with these reels. People say, "What kind of reel is that?"
Yeah.
And I just think that they hit a home run on this reel. It's priced right. It does a great job, and it's actually the only downside is it's a little heavy, and that's because it's an aluminum body reel. And I think all three of these are a little heavy compared to the higher end
The
stuff.
$200
these are
series,
live
Yeah.
for sure.
We're using them
sure.
for live bait,
Yeah.
not for.
Right, and that's
It's
the
not
only
casting all day
downside.
long.
I use St. Croix Tidemaster rods.
They're a little
I've got rods with like 1,000 trips. Like
Yeah.
I'm surprised. They're way past what I thought they would last.
yeah.
Well,
but
you
the
look
downside is they're a heavy rod.
you look at a
They're a
$100
great live bait
product,
rod.
and if we get a year out of it,
Oh
most
yeah.
recreational anglers, that's a 2 to 3 year
Yeah,
stint.
200 days
Oh,
on the
Y-
year.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least.
So some of the things that we say, we're talking about daily,
Yeah.
day to day, beating it up, putting it to the test on
Well,
most of this
look
equipment.
at it like this.
So
The
it's not
average
like
angler fishes
I'm not
on
going
the
home and
weekends.
polishing these
Yeah.
So
night,
he's
you know?
doing at best say 50 trips
50,
a year,
60.
right.
and he's treating his equipment because it's his equipment nice. I get new reels every year, and I can't tell you if it's graphite, if it's metal, if it's titanium.
That's
I don't
aluminum.
know. All I'm telling you is a pin battle. I like them. I use them, and they'll last. I get new ones every year, but
Rick, don't go too
100
technical. on us.
180 to 200 trips a year. Now you take the average angler treating his stuff with care, and I'm not just singling this one out, all of them. That's at least 4 years of fishing.
Yeah.
That's being treated better.
Yep.
Right.
Guess
Sure.
what? You ain't gonna have to buy reels very often.
No.
Right.
I
And
mean,
if
I've seen sword fights with my stuff, and I'm like, whoa, stop. To kids, you know.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
whoa,
it's
let's.
train wreck.
So
Rick's like, stop! You're beating me.
He's throwing the towel up. Stop! I'm waving the white towel.
It's
Yeah.
hurting.
You're good.
It's hurting. But yeah,
Guys,
no, I mean,
quit.
and you know, they're all good. I'm just not one on specifics. I don't know all the. You know, I know it's a 6.2 to 1, which is a fairly quick retrieve.
Yes.
And I don't have issues with them, so I'm sticking with them. That's my technical. But yeah,
I like it.
they're great.
Well, and I will tell you. So I had some previous reels, that got stiff spots when you slow reel them. It was an issue on some old models. Cleanse oil. I had that
Cleanse
little.
oil.
I had the little test bottle. So we'll try this.
You need to put that on your trolling motor on the bottom on the rust.
No,
Yeah.
no,
No,
no.
it-
It runs. It
So-
just
It's
it's
smooth.
more cosmetic.
It's
Like
smooth.
it looks like a train wreck.
Yeah.
You know, he's got like that sleeper, like, you know, and they go to the drag strip and they got
Yeah.
the stuff missing,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
he wins the whole deal. That's Rick.
I
was
thought the
telling me.
water
John.
was staying, and then I realized Rick was
It's a
fishing
rat
up
rod.
riverfront.
I got the rat rod of trolling motor.
You have a rat rod. You do have a rat rod trolling motor. You
Right, I'll race
definitely.
anybody.
It does
You
move.
put your
I'll tell you
101
what,
out
it
there
does
and I'll
move.
race you.
It does move. It does
He's
move.
so confident in that.
That was it. You got faith.
So anyway, guys. So the moral of the story here was, for $100, I mean,
You
you
can
can
get a
really
nice
get
reel.
a quality product. Whereas years ago, this actually a little. You had to get up there.
For
You had to
sure,
spend
$200.
$200 to get into this type of quality of a product and fishing. So
And if you go on the Black Friday, are these going to be in that range?
They
to
all actually, the BG is going to qualify for the first light, so that's 30% off. You get here before 11.
$70
go.
bucks?
Yeah,
70
I'm,
70
I'm
bucks.
not a
All of them, though,
mathematician here, but
on all the other discounts, it all applies. Whether it's later in the day on Friday or going into Saturday,
is there a limit?
there's not a limit. There's not. Only
Dude,
what we've got over there.
$70.
right, much as we got in
Much
inventory.
as we got in inventory. But I could tell you, so we talk about this all the time. Like,
That's crazy.
I'm a pen guy too. I'm with you. I like pen products. Hap, he's a Daiwa guy. John, who was here, is a Shimano guy. Most customers are Shimano. They like Shimano, but we sell
Big
tons of each of these reels. I mean, more than any other reel, whether it's conventional, fly, spin, doesn't matter. This is that perfect price point. They're all great. We don't see them back. So that's the feedback I'd have. They all have their unique characteristics, but what's cool is when we're selling a reel and working with a customer one-on-one, you're kind of putting I'm putting this in his hands so he can go catch fish. I want it to work. I don't have any trouble selling
You're
these
putting
to
your name
anybody.
on it.
Yeah, put my name on it.
You're putting your
exactly.
name on it.
So,
Yeah, you want somebody to come in a week later and say,
Man,
Yeah.
James,
it's
this
probably
thing is
something-
horrible.
Yeah.
Do you have your receipt?
yeah. So we have a lot of confidence in these three. The support that we have from the brands after the sale too is phenomenal. With these, so you can't go wrong.
I can tell you, Daiwa, I've actually sat down with the engineers. They flew me in from Japan, and they're big on making their stuff right. If there is a problem, I mean, I've sat down with dinner over these guys, and I was really impressed on their how they handle things. They, their saltwater market is big, and they've got no knock to Shimano or anybody. I think their tarpon stuff is some of the most popular around with the Saltus brand,
Saltus, yeah.
which they've narrowed down into this size now.
Yeah.
I personally, for inshore, I think these, I know them are better, but for a price point perspective,
Yeah.
for the clients, these work just as good. I mean, but the Saltus brand for tarpon, and they run from, I think, 2,000 all the way up to 6,500 now?
There's an 8,000.
Saltus.
also.
Oh, it's an
Yeah.
8,000.
An 8,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
They brought it down too. They brought it down into an inshore.
And
There's a
any of the
2,000,
old
yeah.
guys that had the old Saltus, I'm going to actually get rid of my old ones because they've lightened them up. You can actually run like a 5,000 now,
Yeah.
and it's pretty light. That was a knock I had on the Saltus. The old ones, they were heavy.
Well, and a comparable product would have been the bait runner to the Shimano.
Yeah.
And I noticed that because I ran some of the 6,000 OC bait runners.
Yeah.
And that was like an 8,000 spinning reel. I was tarpon fishing with them. And the cool thing about the bait runner, like in itself, was just it opens up a whole nother window.
That
Which
feature.
I know the Penn Spin Fisher, I think now has a bait runner feature to it, doesn't
There's
it?
a couple in the Penn lineup. They do too. Yeah.
Which is
The bait
kinda
runner's
cool.
like a.
That's when you
That's
move
like
up.
the original BG of
The original
Daiwa.
BG.
Yeah,
Or the Penn
exactly.
Slammer.
The
Like
Slammer. The
that's
old
like the old classics
Yeah.
that you just can't.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
And I
can't.
tell you
They
what,
can't
man,
get them off. Well, that's like Daiwa. They've got the SS, which I was using until they came out with the BG.
Right.
Till we had the
I used them
BGs.
as well.
I asked Dan. I was like, why do they still have the SS? He goes, we can't get rid of it. Like
get rid of
people
it.
want
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like people want that reel. It's so the technology. It's 3 ball
We still sell 'em.
bearings.
We still
Like
sell
everything about that reel is just 80s and old and
Yep.
like outdated.
Hey,
no
hey.
anti.
But she
anti-
works.
reverse all
It's
the way
like that.
back.
It's like that old roll-up window in your car,
80s.
baby. It goes up and down with no squeaks after 30 years. You can't get rid of that.
No.
Come on, look at
Like
Rick.
that now,
We're
huh?
bringing Rick back in now. He's gonna start listening to Def
Well,
Leppard.
maybe
all
we'll
night.
do a
Speed
when we get
wagon.
closer towards tarpon season, we'll bring this kind of gear back up and show you the next class.
Yeah.
Get up into the 20-pound class stuff because I think there
I
it
don't-
really opens up some doors to,
Listen.
to some good conversation.
I don't know. No matter what different wheel we bring out here to talk about, I think Rick's response is gonna be the same.
It's fine.
It's fine. It
me,
works great. I don't
That
know
thing
what
works good.
material.
I cast it out there, boy.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Ain't broke, don't
This
fix
one
it.
here.
Don't fix it. So anyway, one more time, guys. We're gonna wrap this up here.
And before we wrap this up, well, go ahead and wrap this up.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and wrap
So
this up.
Jason's got the
BG2.
Daiwa BG,
BG2. This is a 2500. This is what I use on my inshore trips.
and I've got the Shimano. I think it's Nasky. This is the
They need to change the
3000.
name on that thing.
99.99.
I know the answer. I just want to.
Is it Nasi?
I don't know. I'm just
Is
kidding.
it? I don't know because I've heard it gone both ways. But either way it goes, I don't really care. It looks like a really great reel. I got 6 of them
It
on the way.
does.
So I will give you some more feedback after I actually put these to the grind. But
Can I
if it's
stick?
anything like the Stratic,
Can I put that in the live well and then rinse it off and then give it back to you?
no,
4%.
no. You can
I
buy
will say
yourself
this,
one.
Yeah.
Don't do that with these.
Don't do
None
that
of them
with-
work good
don't
after
do that with
saltwater.
these.
yeah.
Some
Keep them out of the
submerged.
live well.
But yeah. Anyway, but next week, show topic is going to be props.
Is it
Props.
next week?
And yeah.
We'll do it
And next week we're going to do the show on Monday
Monday,
evening because of the
yeah,
holiday.
Because of the holidays.
Ooh, I gotta do my
we're gonna-
homework.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
We're going to be
gonna-
talking blade surface,
Yeah.
4-blade versus 5-blade versus 3-blade, how to figure your prop slip ratio.
And that, I'm gonna tell
diameter.
you, it sounds real complicated.
I'm excited already.
And it actually is way over my head. But Jason always takes care of my prop issues,
Mhm.
and he did wonders with my boat as far as the ride, and just
I'm gonna come see you.
so yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
serious.
he's
I'm due for a new prop.
But
I was
yeah,
telling you.
let him figure it out for you.
Cool.
He'll prop you out right, and it'll make a huge
Well,
difference in your.
I actually I'm on
performance.
next week. The prop slip calculator, which you can get apps on your phone, is key to figuring out if you're running the right prop. It tells you your slip ratio versus your speed and your RPM.
RPM.
See that all, everything you just said. When you got to the app on your phone,
When he said app,
just left
When you
me.
said phone,
Me too.
app,
Roll
Rick was
up
out.
windows.
Rick was out.
Time
She's
to
still
go.
getting her
Rick,
done.
Rick, before we
Windows.
forget, one more time, I know you wrote it down. Give us our name of our winner for our trivia question.
He's got the
John.
old binder out.
Uterwick.
Uderwick.
John Uderwick, come on in, TFO. See the gang. We got a spool leader
70
up there
bucks.
for you.
I think I know
Free
who John
line.
is.
You do
One of our
know John?
customers, Yeah,
Cool.
I think so.
Well, John, we appreciate you supporting the show and watching, buddy. Any closing thoughts? You want to run that over real quick one more time for
Yes.
anybody late
Last
listening?
time, First Light Bite's going to be Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Just to keep it short, 30% off of select brands and models. But it's what people want. You know, it's the premier brands. Then at 11 a.m. we're going to go to the incoming Tide sale, 20% off store wide. Doesn't matter what you pick out, you slap it on the counter, it's going to be 20% off. Then after 2 p.m., catch a deal. That's the outgoing Tide. You're going to reach in, grab a fish, whatever fish you catch, there's going to be some type of discount attached to it, 5% up to 30%. So you could get the best deal of the day
Money.
at the last minute.
Money.
That's going to be going on Black Friday. Don't forget the next day is Small Business Saturday, which is a cool event. You know, small businesses sometimes get lost in the mix, and we're one of those. And the next day, American Express puts that on, but we're going to do 15% off store-wide all day
Wow.
long Saturday. So
Very
even if you
nice.
can't get here, or you know you're going to be watching USF versus UCF, and that's it. That's your plans for Black Friday. Still come the next day. We'll hook you up.
Cool.
Good deal.
Mhm.
Nice.
Cool.
Good deal.
Nice.
Well, James, we appreciate you coming in here.
Definitely, it was fun.
You're always welcome on the table with us to talk fishing, and we appreciate Tampa Fishing Outfitters for their years of support. It's been
Absolutely.
a long
Yep.
time running,
Yep.
And these guys, every time we up the ante on what we need, they go above and beyond our needs. So, guys, don't forget, come in, get your humpback cast net. We got some details rolling out on some good deals coming out.
For sure.
And we're going to be doing some fishing. Negative low tides are here. We're going to start catching a lot of fish.
Yeah.
We've been catching a lot of fish. Going to get more. Real quick, Captain Jason Prieto, Steady Action Fishing Charters. You can reach me at 813-727-9890. SteadyActionFishingCharters.com. Travis?
You can catch me at 813-830-3474 or www.fishbyinstinct.com, and we can take care of you.
Cool.
James.
Get in the mix.
Get in it, Bubba.
All right, Local Knowledge Adventures, new this year.
Cool
Been
name,
running
dude.
trips for about a year now. It's awesome. You can get a hold of me, in the store. I'm here a couple days a week. But it's 813-625-2067 or localknowledgefishing.com.
Awesome. 813-601-2900.
Yeah, and real quick, guys, don't forget about our photo contest. Register to win a 10-foot humpback cast net, compliments of Tampa Fishing Outfitters. And how you can do that, submit your photo. Just go to the groups because we can't do anything. Search Tampa Fishing Outfitters Fishing Show Photo Contest on groups. Submit your photos, subscribe to our YouTube page, like our Facebook page, and one of you guys are going to win a $230 cast net.
Good deal. We'll teach them how to throw it.
Yes. Well, I'll let you do that. I just watch.
And we'll see you Monday.
All right, guys.